Okay, so why would you be a sound engineer, for God's sake? Ben Hammond. Why would you be a live sound engineer? I mean, what, I've got this here. Long days away from home, lots of waiting around, stress of playing on familiar venues, bad sandwiches, obviously, with Saxon, and pressure. Yeah, why would anybody want to do that?
I don't know, I just kind of think the overwhelming thing for me is if it all ends tomorrow, I've got a hell of a lot of stories I can tell people. I've seen a lot of countries, you know. I left university and people that I know are working 2-3 jobs, you know, for 6 months to skimp themselves to go to a country for a couple of weeks or whatever. You know, you do get most of the time paid, you know, to go. And, you know, and you see some, you know, you see a side of life that you wouldn't normally do, and it's kind of got to the point where I don't know what I would do if I wasn't doing this. All my friends are because of this, everything I talk about, who you are, you know, I mean, you try and remove yourself from it completely and think about what you talk to somebody down the pub about, and you just draw blank really. So it does, and I never wanted to be one of those guys when you're a kid and you're playing in bands and you're playing some awful venue somewhere and you turn up and there's an engineer in his 60s who, oh, the old music gang, you're creme brulee from League of Gentlemen, it's a bitch. Yeah, we all have. But you know, and I was determined never to be that guy. And you hear that horrible thing, oh, I got bitten by the bug, and it's really cheesy, but it's true. Yeah. You know, you kind of dip your toe in. I was a studio engineer for years and had no interest in live sound whatsoever. I want to sit in a studio and spend an hour over a snare drum sound, a day over a snare drum sound, and achieve what, you know, your opinion of perfection, which obviously there is no right or wrong answer. Everything's interpretation in this. You know, everybody could hear anything their own way or whatever. But and then, you know, kind of got asked more and more to do it, and then some friends of mine won a competition in Metal Hammer to support Slayer at Manchester Apollo, and we had a 7-minute set, and I've never seen a digital desk before in my life. I'd spent the last 7 years sat behind an SSL Plus. And I walked up to a profile and spent the night before on YouTube trying to work out how the hell you worked it out, and then just turned up to this really aggressive, militant American kind of production, and threw it up, you know, about 400 people in Manchester Apollo, horrible bouncy, echoey green. And thought, I never want to go back to a studio in my life. That was awesome. It probably sounded despicable. And, you know, thankfully smartphones weren't really about then, so there aren't any YouTube videos of it because it was probably disgusting. But, you know, from then on, there was just I suppose the buzz of it really. You know, you're doing a festival in front of however many thousands of people, and you've heard tiny little individual bits in your headphones, and the first time you open it up is the same time that 50,000 people stood behind you hear it, and it's a hell of a seat of the pants thing. And once you've done that, you know, I suppose it is a bit of a, you know, I want to do it again, you know.
Well, I know you've probably got a view on that, but I want to ask Dave the same question actually.
Well, exactly what you're saying about that opening up the system, you know, that waiting for the gig to happen, and then open it up, and you've got like 50,000 people in front of you. And your stomach is just tearing itself apart, and you hear that first kick drum, and then you hear that first vocal, and you think, I'm safe. And then you can go, then you mix from that point onwards, you know. And it's addictive. It's like throwing yourself out of an airplane with a parachute, you know, or, you know, surfing, or you know, it's a dangerous sport.
Dangerous sport, you heard it. Now, Rob, do you agree with that? I mean, you haven't toured for 8 years, and you kind of gave it up.
I gave it up, not out of choice. Well, a little bit out of choice. I mean, I became a sound engineer because all I wanted to be was in a rock and roll band all my life, and I guess when I was a guitarist that didn't practice hard enough, like every other sound engineer. And that wasn't trained to do anything else. And I loved that, and like you said, you know, that moment, and the moment it summed up for me was I was mixing the Manics and the Millennium show, like 1999. So we didn't even know if it was all going to stop, right? It was the 2000 buzz. Do you remember that? 2000, the Millennium buzz. Anyway, they came on stage and there was 80,000 very drunk Welsh people in the Millennium Stadium. And
I mean, I'm great.
all screamed at the same time, and this warm, beery wind just kind of went past me. And I even thinking about it, right, here's up in the back of my neck, and I was like, I really don't want to be anywhere else in the planet right now. You know,
If you stand next to me in the bar later, you're going to...
Yeah. I'm experienced that one, yeah.
So, well, no, I fully understand. And you spent, you know, for your sins, you spent 70 years with the Manic Street Preachers. How many of that was driving around in the back of the Volkswagen?
We started, the 5 of us in a minibus with little combos in the back. But that didn't last very long. That was about 6 months. We played at 50 people in a pub, but 49 of them were enemy journalists. And it smashed the place up, smashed all of the instruments. Next day we go to the music shop, buy some more guitars. Within a few months it was, you know, top of the pops, and then, you know, kind of large theatres, and within a couple of years it was arenas, and then they even got to stadiums for a little while.
Well, there you go. Smash up a few shops and get on top of the box. There you go. And Chicky, I mean, you at the moment you're doing more studio stuff.
Yeah.
You obviously got this MOD tour. How do you find the balance of the big tours, which last year, for instance, you were on the Prince tour, and you toured with Grace Jones. How do you find the balance between the studio world and the touring world? Do you I mean, Ben says he never wants to be behind an SSL desk ever again. They're not in, are they? Right, anyway. But yeah,
I think it's really easy to find a balance between the two, because I think they're both very complementary of each other. I find that doing one, it really sharpens my chops for doing the other. You know, from doing all the live work I've done in the studio, I can hear something, I know what frequency it is right away. Being able to work really fast, trying not to get in the way of artists and their creativity. You know, being able to just get a great drum sound up within, 30 minutes instead of what used to be 3 hours for me, going through and tweaking snare sounds. Now I can just do it really fast. And then the other thing too is, from doing all the touring, I've learned what works, like microphone-wise. So I don't know if I told you about this, but I make my own microphones too.
Right.
So
because we need another microphone, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So now I just make microphones that immediately have the sound that I know I'm going to want instead, so I don't have to just sort through things. And so it's gotten me to be very fast. It's gotten me to know immediately what I'm looking for. So I find they work really well together. And also, whenever the stuff I do live, the studio benefits it quite a bit, because I'll take all my plugins, because I use all Avid consoles. Avid's great, by the way. I use all Avid consoles, and
they can have this half. Acoustics first half.
Yeah. And I
know how acoustics here. Remember this.
And I loaded my Pro Tools plugins on the console. And also I use the D-Show software. I might open up my one PC laptop and then set it up, and then I'm ready to go. And what I was going to say is I'll design on the plugins. I'll design these presets that I know really work well, and take them live. And it's the same sort of thing to me. They're not much different from each other. It's just one you're in a room by yourself doing mixing, because that's what I primarily am doing. Or another one, you're in a room with 20,000 to 30,000 people.
But the two worlds have come closer and closer,
yeah,
right?
They really
and part of it is the recording live, part of it is the plugins, and the differences are very small. I mean, the difference really is, in live you build speakers to match the room, and in the studio you build the room to match the speakers, right? But essentially, stuff comes in, you mess with it, it goes out.
Exactly, and I think in the old days too, with live, the idea was just to get whoever's on stage heard. And that's why you did see speakers beside the Beatles at Shea Stadium just stacked up on tables. It was just as if it was possible for people to hear that. But the idea was just to be heard. But now live it's a hi-fi world.